the price come heavy. Like Shaq attack up on a backboard. Gummy, back up on a backboard. When she asked me if I love her, I just act bored. Say loser, ask for it. Living movie, blockbuster, this ain't a rental. Talking moody, all these diamonds up in my dental. I get never minded if I offend you. I need the silence, chaos is in my mental. You need a PJ, first class, not what you went to. You need the relay, chase money like you sane. I'll give you the boat, chain, and plane. Fame name, that's insane. Pop up. You need a, in case the movies get insane. You need a ruby, the kind of jewelry that's from the rain. I'm just here to remind you, but never mommy, man. I'm here to remind you where you come from. All this peace retreat is lame done. You can never get rid of me, I live in you. Both of our five in you.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. J.J. Nelson now to return. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20.
Over! Watch it now, Barney!
They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They'll run with Clement. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
On 3rd down, Rosen. He may try and run for this. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And him running the football is not something that defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
Now Brown. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. First carry now for Jordan Howard. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On play action, now Garoppolo. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Throw left side complete to Sharp. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 11 more on that one and another first down.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Bobby Wagner. Not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. This is Howard on second down. Down to the 25. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On third and long, it's Garoppolo. Left side here, caught by Clay. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to fourth down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Here's Rosen to throw. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And now running right through it. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. They go with Howard to begin the drive. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open.
He rifles one that's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Gun!
They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. He's going to air one out. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And now it's 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to tackle. And this is going to be intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now Rosen looking to throw. He's going to fire. Touchdown, Philadelphia! Kelvin Benjamin, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. Well, that was the fly route for a touchdown, and since he caught that one and scored it, I got to tell the story. Before the game, we were standing there. He was running deep routes, dropped one. It bounced up and just hit me right in the gut, and I said, come on, man, but there was no drop.
Yeah, you okay now?
I'm good.
All right, good. We got the ice pack up here. You're just fine. What I loved about it was the subtlety of the route because everyone knows he's fast. They're going to play him for that route first and foremost, but sometimes it's a head fake. It's varying your speed off the line of scrimmage. It's giving the defensive back different angles to think about. Is he going inside? Is he going outside?
21.
And then, as you noted, he just took off past him. Oops, there he goes again.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
11.
Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Going deep for Hop. This is caught inside the 15. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. DeAndre Hopkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Touchdowns on back-to-back drives, so a very good flow right now offensively.
Hard to slow them down, too, because they are locked in. Feel like the offense coordinator is a little bit ahead of the defensive guys right now. They're beating them to the punch with their play calls. They've got a nice rhythm they're locked into.
He's got a man. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney! Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage. The holding penalty. Rosen will throw. Flush to his right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Appeared to me he was just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield to try and hit his back. Unable to connect. Should have been an easier throw moving to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier, obviously, for a right-handed quarterback. If he was going to his left, a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
And now it's Rosen looking to Shepard, complete over the middle. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this.
Detroit! Detroit! Mike 28!
On 1st down, it's Rosen. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Detroit!
Throwing again, it's Rosen. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Steps around, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Bobby Wagner in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Rosen on 1st and 10. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Kelvin Benjamin with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. Elliott good with a PAT, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right?
And that's caught inside the 35. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Garoppolo on 1st down. Muscles him off. Dancing to his left. Buying time to his left. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. 15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
After the interception, here's Rosen. Forced out to his left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Lucky 56. Gone, 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 gone. Now let's go. Green 30.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. The Eagles on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
It's in the game.
So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They do go for it. It's Garoppolo. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 21 yards there. A big play on 4th down.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd. after that one.
Here in the third quarter, they were hoping to get the stop, get the football back. Not the case.
What a completion on a fourth down play.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Dane Cruikshank. And he's able to bring it out 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Rosen. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 13 yards that time at a 1st. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Hurry up, here we go. 3.
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a 1st down here.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Two runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. In for the score. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Dane Cruikshank. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Now Rosen to throw on second down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Derek Barnett. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Dane Cruikshank. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Elliott good on the extra point, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Dane Cruikshank. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. The Eagles on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 10. it's Clement. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue line it.
He'll get it up the middle. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
Mike, he's coming. Check in. Watch the screen.
From the gun, it's Rosen. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Eagles, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Chicago Bears next week.